Chair.
Todd McLean.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. That was a little bit like watching Heartland TV program channel in New Zealand, all about the past. And you know what that was a snapshot of? That was a snapshot of the last election campaign here in New Zealand, when the Labour Party went out and campaigned against asset sales. And by comparison, John Key and the National Party made a case about the New Zealand economy to the New Zealand people. Cast your mind back, Mr. Chairman, to the last day before the election, as John Key on a bus was out meeting New Zealanders and talking to them. Phil Goff, the then leader of the Labour Party, was standing by a dam with a sign with a couple of friends saying to New Zealanders, if you vote for them, they will sell these assets. That's what he was saying. So we hear from the members opposite, that actually this is a rush process and that New Zealanders don't know what was going to happen. Well, actually, Mr. Chairman, there were a wide number of issues this party campaigned on. Number one, putting New Zealanders first. Number two, making sure we made important choices. And number three, telling them what we would do. And the members opposite can't say to us here in this House today, and Mr. Goff can't stand up and say in this House today that the opposition didn't make an issue of that, because they said to every New Zealander that would listen, now this is what would happen. Now, why is that important, Mr. Speaker? Because in Part 2 of this piece of legislation, it says places limits on ownership of companies named in Schedule 5. And those limits are 51% ownership held by the Crown. It's written into the piece of legislation. It can't change. In my speech in this House earlier, Mr. Chairman, I read out a very long list of companies that the Labour Party and government in the 80s sold. Now, they didn't campaign on those. Nobody was standing by a dam then, Mr. Goff. They didn't campaign and tell New Zealanders that they would go and sell them if they were elected. We made a case to New Zealanders. We gave them guarantees, and today in this House we're meeting those guarantees to them. And not only that, there has been no rush as this legislation has gone through. There was not any rush, Mr. Cosgrove, through the committee. 8 full meetings in 3 parts of New Zealand, and on four occasions, Mr. Cosgrove and his colleagues had an opportunity to ask questions of our officials. And did they ask a single question? No, they didn't. Did they ask a single question on the 26th of April, on the 2nd of May, on the 7th of May, or the 9th of May? Not a single question. But today they come to this House and they expect New Zealanders to believe that they took this process seriously through committee. Well, I reject the assertion that this was rushed. The committee had done its job. We'd listened to every submitter. Most submitters were given as much time as they wanted. In fact, Young Labour came here from a university and they were given 30 minutes. 30 minutes of their time, and we showed them nothing but courtesy. But you won't hear that from members opposite here in this House today. Mr. Chairman, I believe that the National Party has made their case to New Zealanders. We've made the case to New Zealanders. None of this is being put through in urgency. And can I say to you, to the members opposite, you may not want to remember history. You may not want to own up to what you did to the New Zealand public in the 80s, but there's a lot of people that remember that, Mr. Chairman.
I'm going to call Charles Chauvel.
Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I just want